been rumored. How dare they? How dare they malign me like that? When I was so nice, I was so gracious to that reporter. Oh, I could tear out every hair on her head. Witch!
Pardon me, ma'am?
Oh, nothing. Well, they are not going to get away with it. I mean, people in New York can just believe whatever they want to, but I am not going to let this filthy rag ruin my reputation in my own hometown.
These are about the best sausages I ever ate in my life.
Well, I'm glad you like them, dear. Want some more?
No, I reckon I'll leave some for Jenny.
Is she still asleep?
Like a log. Got in kind of late last night.
I know. You know, I started to worry last night when I went up to bed. Ooh, and she wasn't home yet.
Well, I guess it was one of them long movies, you know, outer space.
Oh, Tad used to like that kind of picture, too.
Well, like brother, like sister, I guess.
Still, I worry about a girl her age being out on the street at night alone. And you should worry, too, Opal.
Well, as a matter of fact, I waited up for Jenny. Although I know not too much can happen to her in a tiny little town like this, but I'd like her to know, you know, keeping an eye on her.
Yes, it's quite a responsibility having a teenage daughter, especially if she's as pretty as Jenny is.
Oh, you bet it is. And speaking of the Sleeping Beauty, I think I'm going to run upstairs and give her a poke.
No, I can do it. You shouldn't go up and down the stairs so often, dear, with that heart condition.
Oh, that's okay. I kind of know, you know, what I can do and what I can't. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
Thanks again for that wonderful breakfast, Miss Martin.
You're welcome. Tell Jenny I'll have her breakfast ready when she's ready.
Okay, I will do. Excuse me now.
Sure.
What do you mean you lost your job?
Mom, I couldn't help it. It wasn't my fault.
What happened?
It's an awful place to work anyway. But that dumb fox costume and that silly tail hanging down my back.
I asked you what you did lose this job.
I didn't do anything. I was serving drinks and this guy grabs my leg and made me spill them all.
Who, a customer?
Yes, a customer. Some of the drinks got on him. Well, I told him I was sorry, but it was his fault for grabbing me like that in the first place.
No wonder they fired you.
And then the boss came in and told me I was clumsy, and I said it wasn't my fault. And he said if I didn't like working there, maybe I should just take my things and leave.
Did he pay you at least for the hours you put in?
I didn't think to ask.
Oh.
I just took out my things and took the bus back here, Mama.
Well, you're just going to have to get that job back, Jenny.
What?
You heard me. You're going to have to go in and apologize to him and tell him next time he'll be more careful.
Mama, that customer made a pass at me.
Oh, who cares? He didn't mean anything by it. That is a very good place for you to be seen by important people in showbiz, Jenny.
Mama, nobody important ever goes into that place. It's the pits.
How do you know? Don't backtalk me, young lady. You want to have a career or not?
No, I don't. I just want to go to school and be a kid, Mama.
You're too sappy to know what you want. Jenny, I hear that all the New York shows come over here to Center City to try out. One of these days, an important director or producer's going to come into Foxy's, see you, and, man, you're going to be on your way.
Mama, you're really dreaming. People like that don't go into Foxy's. It's a dive. Hate it.
Well, hate it or not, young lady, we are going back there today, you and me, and you're going to get your job back. You hear me? Now, that's all there is to it. I want you to get some clothes on, come downstairs, and eat this breakfast. You hear me, girl? On the double. You sure I'm not keeping you?
No, you're not keeping me. I don't have any classes. Come on in. Sit down.
Well, where's Ellen?
She had to go down to the boutique early. She's having a sale or something. I don't know. You want some coffee?
No, thank you. I'm too upset. I see you read it.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, I am furious, Mark. I was about to run down to that office and demand a retraction, but Brandon wouldn't let me.
No, he's right, Erica. That'd be like opening up a can of worms.
But, Mark, he is getting a divorce. And Brandon and I are engaged to be married. And I want you to tell that to everybody in this town. His wife did not win.
Yeah, well, I don't think I'll be stopping people on the street to tell them that exciting news, but if anybody says anything to me, or in front of me, I'll definitely set them straight. I mean, you are living together, aren't you? That's proof enough of who's the winner.
Well, that's changed a bit.
You're not living together?
Well, it's not as if he wouldn't want to. Brandon would love to move in with me. But Sarah has made it very clear that she would make a lot of trouble if he does.
Aha. Like sue for adultery?
Huh. Can you imagine how a woman could be that vengeful? I mean, think what it would do to her children.
Well, if I were her, I'd tread very lightly if she has any idea of some kind of settlement.
Oh. Well, that's the other thing. Wouldn't you know it, the woman happens to be independently wealthy. She doesn't need Brandon for a dime.
Well, it's nice work if you can get.
Oh, it's revolting is what it is. I mean, I just can't believe that she would force Brandon out of his job, that she would ruin him at Sensual.
Is that what she's threatening?
Yes, of course it is. And Brandon really needs the job. I mean, he doesn't have this enormous private income to fall back on, you know.
Well, neither do you if you find yourself out on your ear.
No, and wouldn't she just love that? You know, I'm just so glad that Brandon cares enough about me that he just doesn't want to see me risk getting hurt in any way at all. Mark, Brandon and I really do love each other very, very much. I just can't believe that some people could be so cruel, they could be so vicious and jealous.
Listen, how long is this divorce going to take?
That's the worst part. Sarah is insisting on a long legal separation. Mark, it's going to be more than a year before we can be married.
But you'll still be able to see each other.
Oh yes, every chance we get. As a matter of fact, Brandon spent the night at my apartment last night.
Oh. No private detectives hanging around.
Well, we have to be careful of that, of course. I mean, Brandon said that Sarah is not beyond that.
Well, it looks to me like Brandon's calling the shots here.
What does that mean?
I mean, it looks like he's having his cake and eating it, too. I mean, he's got his home in the country with his wife and children and his little apartment in New York with his bride-to-be.
Mark, that is only because those are the only conditions under which Sarah will grant him the divorce. If anybody's calling the shots, it's she.
Look, I hate to say this, but it certainly sounds to me like you're being compromised again.
Yes, I know it looks like that. I know. But I have no choice. So, good, Mrs. Martin? Nobody can make lemonade the way you do.
Well, Erica, there is no trick to it. You just squeeze the lemons and add sugar.
Oh, but really, Mrs. Martin, you seem to have the magic touch.
As you have the magic touch for Martin.
Oh, isn't that very sweet of you to say? But I guess we both know that fame has its price, doesn't it?
I don't quite know what you mean there.
Oh, well, by this time, Mrs. Martin, I'm sure that you have read all those lies about me in Tempo magazine.
Tempo magazine?
Yes, Mrs. Martin, that's one of the reasons that I stopped by. I mean, you are just one of my dearest and oldest friends in this whole town. And I don't want you to think that all that they printed in that horrible magazine is true about me. I mean, that article is just riddled with inaccuracies.
Erica, I haven't the faintest idea of what you're talking about. I have never read a Tempo magazine. I'm sure there's never even been one in our home.
Well, but still, I'm sure you're going to hear about it, Mrs. Martin, because, I mean, everybody in this town is so involved with my fame as Sensuel's American Beauty.
Well, I think there's some of us who can take it in stride.
Well, just the same, I feel that I owe an explanation to my loyal fans. So anyway, Brandon Kingsley and well, he's the head of Sensuel Cosmetics, you know. Well, Brandon Kingsley and I are engaged to be married.
Well, my best wishes, Erica.
Well, thank you. But you see, the thing is that all those horrible people down at Tempo magazine, they just on purpose misquoted everything that I said. I mean, I am not a husband stealer. Far from it. As a matter of fact, Brandon is separated from his wife and has been for some time now. It's just that she just keeps insisting on this long-term legal separation before the divorce becomes final. I mean, as a punishment to him, you know.
I think I do.
Well, and the truth of the matter is that Brandon and I are very, very much in love, Mrs. Martin. And our relationship has never been anything but honorable. You know what I mean.
Yes, I seem to get the message.
Okay, but for some reason, just some people can't help being vicious, that's all. I mean, I guess it's jealousy or something, and I guess that reporter just felt she had to paint me in a bad light. I don't know, but I think sometimes they feel that they can sell more magazines if they make something sensational out of something that is just pure and innocent.
Yes, I venture to say.
Well, anyway, I just really felt that, Mrs. Martin, I really felt that I owed you an explanation, and you must know that none of what was in that magazine article is true. You have to know that. I mean, I am a moral person. And you, above all people, you know that.
Oh, Miss Martin, there's a telephone call for you. I think it's Millie.
Oh, thank you. You excuse me, dear.
Oh, well, of course.
Oh, I'm sorry. Erica, this is Mrs. Opal Gardner, my house guest, Erica Kane.
Certainly.
Now, I'll just be a few minutes and have some lemonade.
Okay. Do you care for a little bit more of this? No, thank you. Oh, my goodness, Erica Kane! Why, you're Aunt America's beauty, aren't you? Oh, well, yes, I am. Well, how nice of you to recognize me. Oh, well, how could I help but recognize you? My goodness. Why, you're a celebrity. I must have seen you a million times on the television and in the magazines. Matter of fact, I was reading an article about you in one of them just last night. Hang on, I'm going to go get that. Why, here it is, see? I'll be darned if that ain't you right on the cover here. And think of me just sitting right here on this porch next to you. Well, I can't get over it. Somebody as beautiful and as famous as you. You're even more beautiful and famous in person than you are on the cover of this here magazine. And that is saying something, too, because what a gorgeous picture this is of you. Oh, well, thank you. That's very sweet of you. Well, that picture was taken by one of the finest photographers in New York. No kidding. Well, I bet it was just a snap for this man to take that picture of somebody as beautiful as you are, right? Could I ask you a favor, please, Miss Kane? Would you be so kind as to autograph this for me? It means so much to me. Well, certainly. All right. Please. Here, take this pen, and if you could write to Jenny, that's my daughter. Just write that right there across your face. My daughter would just love it. She looks a lot like you, as a matter of fact. Oh, well, except she's not quite so gorgeous, you know, but, of course, she's a lot younger than you, too. Anyway, you're kind of a role model for my Jenny. She wants to grow up to be an actress and a model. She's got her heart set on it. Well, I certainly wish her all the best. Well, I bet you could give my Jenny a couple of pointers about the business, couldn't you? I mean, just kind of tell her a couple of things, show her the ropes, if you know what I mean.
Well, I really don't know what I could tell her. She really has to get her own training, make her own contacts.
Oh. Well, even saying that to her would be a big help. I'll tell you what, Miss Kane, my little girl is right upstairs in the bedroom. Did you mind terribly if I went and got her and brought her down?
No, of course not. Not at all. I'm always very happy to meet my many fans.
Oh, all right. I must say you are the best. Okay, so you just sit tight right here, and I'm going to go up and give Jenny a yell. Don't go away now, you hear? I'll tell you, she's going to be so excited. Jenny! Oh, Jenny, baby, guess what? I got a surprise for you. Now, come on, get out of those radio jeans into something great looking, baby. The chance of a lifetime is waiting downstairs for you.
picture doesn't even do me justice.